All right, it's about that time. So I want to thank everybody who's joined us this afternoon to hear a little information about POTS. So we've called this the importance of POTS: replacement now, hang up or pay up. And there's a lot of things going on in the POTS market right now. So we've asked David Neely, our Chief Revenue Officer. Many of you know David. He's been in the channel for a long time. Been a leader in the channel for a long time, and has his pulse kind of on the pulse of what's going on in the channel. So, David, welcome.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it very much.
So we're going to do some a little Q&A today and find out a little bit more about POTS and where we're going, what the marketplace looks like, and where it's all going to end up. So for a long time now, we've been hearing that POTS lines are going away. Some providers, they're using doom and gloom. They're giving the sky is falling and that things are going to end. But what's your take on this situation right now with POTS?
Yeah, thanks. I think that's a great leading question because there's a lot of mystery around POTS, and there's a lot of lines that are out there with elevators and security systems and fax lines that people still use every day in normal business. Title companies using fax lines. And I think a better way to, describe, the concern around POTS is it's really the POTS lines, the areas, it's just changing. It's not completely going away. And as many of, the audience has learned in the past, while the FCC may talk about some things and AT&T may talk about some things, it's going to take years for them to unravel a lot of what I just described in some of the key analog lines that are out there, alarm lines. So I think it's going to be a long time before it completely goes away.
Okay. So what is all the hype about? What about POTS is really changing?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things going on. You've got AT&T, you've got some big players like Verizon that want to, discontinue their overall support for copper. And it's expensive to maintain those systems out there. And everybody sees that the economies of scale that you can gain through fiber and through coax and the connectivity that's been put into the ground has a lot more capacity than the copper lines do. So there's a lot of demand for bandwidth out there and connectivity, and the cable cos and others have but just like the AT&Ts and Verizons, like I said, it's forcing a lot of these organizations to begin to walk away from the support around copper.
Okay. So with all that in mind, what does it really mean to the end consumer in this situation?
Well, I think that's where the rubber meets the road here. Is the consumer is going to be impacted because the larger organizations like the AT&Ts of the world are going to ultimately just raise prices, and the raising of the prices is going to force people to naturally begin to seek alternatives, and that allows them to meet their end result, which is to have less and less copper out there.
Okay. So what that is sounding like is that it's trapping the consumers that have copper to either pay up or find another type of access.
Yeah, you're right. That trap is really the perception, but the perception by the consumers is really driven by a lack of knowledge, and the consumers that you mentioned are really, in our case, a lot of the customers and the business customers out there They just don't know what their alternatives are, and they've had these lines for a long, long time, and they've just kind of forgotten about some of these lines, quite frankly. So it's it's a lot for them to absorb, and they don't have time to read all the various information about things called forbearance and what the FCC is ultimately kind of assisting AT&T with dissolving these POTS lines. It's just it's information overload for the businesses, and some of the individuals just don't know what to do, and that's ultimately the bottom line. It's just a lack of awareness out there.
Yeah, I really get that. You know, I see so much of this information being thrown around by so many different organizations and individuals, and even as a technology professional, I sometimes find it confusing to understand a lot of the different things that people are trying to sell or or give information on. So what are the simplify it down? What are the things that are out there, and what should the consumers be looking at?
Yeah, no, it's perfect. And that's what we're here to do today. We've got a number of people. It's I think one of our biggest, what we call our happy half hours. So we thank everyone for joining today. But I think ultimately what you guys want to hear, the audience, is really what I'm going to kind of cover now, and it's that lack of information that and the alternatives that they have out there. And let me see if I can make it real simple, and then I might bring in my SE or one of our SEs within BullsEye, and maybe you can get a little bit deeper and wider within some of the technology. But it's really comes down to kind of three simple choices out there. One, you can do nothing. You can sit on your hands and stay with your copper lines, and that's an option. But as we kind of mentioned earlier, the rates around these analog lines is going to increase, and so from a financial standpoint, it could come back to bite you, if you wait too long to look at your various options. So um, and that price fluctuation is you're just going to see a lot of variability out there. There's going to be a lot of up and down pricing, and people are just going to get frustrated with those changes. So the sooner they look at their other options, and it's really kind of two other options that are the main ones, and the other
But it's
two,
really not up and down pricing, right? It's up and up pricing at this point.
Well,
correct.
yeah, but Mark, remember, it's where you are in the region. The guy, everybody, Jim McHale, I'm one of the solutions engineers David just mentioned. I'm going to bring a little more color, I guess, to this. I am where the rubber kind of meets the road every day, and I deal with it and how we're going to break these up and how we bring them around. I have actually a dry eraser board that sits on my wall, and I have a standing number of what the most expensive POTS line is out there that I've seen recently. It was held there for a while at 290 something in Kansas City for an AT&T line. Wow, there was one up by San Francisco that just blew it away a couple weeks ago. It's like 600 and some dollars. Guys, that's one line. What it comes down to is there's an ROI or a return on that investment where that line is where it flips. And where the game is you keep it as long as you can. That makes sense without getting caught in the pinch of everybody rushing to change stuff onto the old POTS line. So it allows us, to be able to help and bring POTS that. But when it's time to flip, I've got multiple options, and that's kind of where David was going at on some of these things and going to go into. But go ahead, David, and then I'll add more if need to.
No, that's great. I appreciate the kind of real world example. That's I think what the audience really wants to understand. And let me clarify something real quick. We take telecom. We take advantage of a lot of acronyms out there, um, but I mean there could be some new agents out there, or new people on the line. POTS is it's an acronym that stands for plain old telephone service. So plain old telephone service. It's really that simple, that acronym, and it's the old copper lines that you would plug into the wall. And so I just didn't want to take it for granted that everybody understands exactly what we're talking about. So, but the two options that people can do is they can switch to a VoIP solution, voice over IP, voice over the internet, and that technology, you know, a lot of the organizations that are out there have tried and true voice over the internet. The latency has really been reduced, and the jitter that's out there, it's a very stable platform for pushing some of this traffic over to VoIP. But not all POTS line can seek that type of replacement. So VoIP is easy to implement, and it offers a lot of features, and it's extremely affordable. So it's a great option for people. But you know, POTS lines, especially fire life, safety lines, can be quickly converted from an analog to a digital with ease of an adapter type device to make that conversion. So the best part is it's only cost effective, but it can also happen with little or no downtime. So kind of a POTS replacement type product. Adding an adapter out there is a great alternative.
Okay. So all those seem rather simple. When you look at it, is there something we're missing in this, or is it that simplistic?
Yeah, no, it really, you know, there's lots of choices like anything, but companies need to work with credible, you know, one source providers, so they have and help with planning and implementing these changes, and can choose the right solution to use for the replacement. For example, you know, fire lines will require a different solution than an office fax line out there.
Correct. David, I'll add this is Jim again. I'll jump in and add some more color. Guys, that's really what it comes down to. Yes, it is simple once we know which line goes to which alternate solution when we get to that point. And that's kind of where the engineers come in, and we look at it and we'll go, okay, is it a fire life safety line? Are the requirements that come with the fire marshal that's in that county? If so, how are we going to make sure those requirements are met? Some of that is with specific fire life safety, because I've got column A, we'll call it fire life safety, that's got certain things that are built in no matter what the offering is. That's redundancy. That's going to be alternate paths. So it may not be just broadband, maybe also have alternate LTE. It's going to have battery backup built in. It's going to have all the things that underwriting laboratories and the fire departments are looking for. So, but that comes at a premium. Let's be honest about it. It'll be less expensive than some of these expensive POTS lines today, but my integrated voice line that may be just for a standard voice, or a fax that can go over an IV with a T38 type endpoint, a device that goes out there, is a lot less expensive than, say, that fire life safety line. So that's where it comes in, where it helps to engage with us to just help you figure out which lines are going to go which direction. Go ahead, David. I hope that helped a little bit.
No, it does. Jim, feel free. I love, you know, kind of a team approach to this. So thanks.
Sure. So based on your guys' feedback on that, how can partners learn more and access the resources needed to stop the financial burden that's being placed on their existing customers' POTS lines, and how can they future-proof their businesses to stem this rising cost?
No, it's a great question. I appreciate it very much. It just so happens I know someone that can help with that and kind of be a trusted advisor. Seriously, Mark, BullsEye does a great job with this. I think if customers and agents rely on us as that trusted advisor, we can provide the confidence and make those agents out there look good. We've been in the POTS business for a long time. We've been around for 22 years. We started as a pots company, so we get this. We probably get it better than just about anybody out there because we've got a variety of suppliers that we've had, but we can really guide customers and agents um, on what to do. We help customers every day to cut the cord, and I think that's just the beginning. We offer a wide variety of unparalleled care for the products that we offer, but most importantly, during the transition, we've got retention teams and account managers that can really provide the support throughout the entire life cycle of the changes. And that's backed up by the fact that we have 99% of customer retention rate, which is really unheard of in our industry. Even with a large majority of our customers are on POTS lines, we retain just about every one of them, over 99%. So we do a really good job in making sure that our customers are informed and our agents are informed, so we can help them and equip them and make them look good in the industry. And but BullsEye is a great place to start for guiding your customers in what to do and how to navigate this transition off of the copper lines.
So we're asking our partners to pivot and be ready to pivot. What about BullsEye? Are we offering more solutions than just pots and pots replacement?
Yeah, I think that's another great softball question for me to answer a little bit here, because we do offer a lot of products. So we are what oftentimes is considered an aggregator. We've got lots of suppliers. We cover the whole country. We bump up into Canada. We've got all four corners of the domestic US covered for a wide variety of products, including security products. We've got like
Managed
this.
Wi-Fi, IoT, security all the way down to penetration testing. Things that maybe not everybody's always traditionally known us for, but we have done for several years now and doing well. So as we organically grew, it just made sense that we kind of grew from an aggregator more into a technology partner and have extended our services to make it more of that one hand to shake as you come to us. It's easier when you're doing a rollout. I'll tell you from an engineering point of view, I just did a nice regional bank that, it was a nice package. We put together the security, everything down to the software that goes on to the laptops and to their thin clients, all the way to the firewalls and a managed threat protection if they ever get penetrated. That we layered on some voice and UC clients, and also some talk desk, which is a contact center that's also on our thing, and some managed Wi-Fi. I mean, so it really came together to be a nice MRC for the partner and a nice complete solution for the customer. So giving that one hand to shake.
That's great.
Yeah, Mark, you're exactly right. Thanks, James.
Yeah.
And it's in a nutshell, basically, we can be your one, stop shop for broadband, for fiber, for coax, for wireless, for POTS replacement, for Wi-Fi access points, mesh Wi-Fi, security products, SD-WAN. We have a tremendous, and most of our suppliers like VeloCloud and just a variety of products, Zscaler, are all top right Magic Quadrant Gartner type companies. And we've been doing UCaaS now since 2006. We're a Cisco broad shop. We're going to be adding some others like some 8x8 solutions or some Ring Central solutions. So we've got just literally, we can aggregate just about anything. And one of the key things to understand is not only can we aggregate and order all those products for you, but we can knit it all together into a single statement bill. So let me say that one more time, a single statement bill. So no matter how many providers are out there, we'll knit it all, and that customer will get one bill. None of the cable cos can do that. Very, very few organizations can pull all of these products under one roof. So think of BullsEye the next time that POTS lines come up, or any products that I mentioned earlier, and just about any of the connectivity products out there. We're a good company to call.
Okay, great. I have a question for, I think it's going to be for Jim, and this is going to go back to something he said earlier, and that was, that we have these fire lines that are out there, and safety lines and elevator lines. Are the municipalities lining up behind this and accepting this as a solution that we can use for these could be companies of 100-story buildings, or anything, but are the municipalities lining up behind that to accept this?
They are. We're getting, I have to say with the caveat, it is always county by county in every state. That is just the way the laws are done. But as we have rolled through this, I mean, I've hit some of the harder markets. And what I mean by that is downtown Washington, D.C. First time we sold in there, I was like, okay, we good? And of course, we reach out to the partner to make sure, oh, yeah, absolutely. And they gave me actually the contact to the fire marshal. So we have no problems. Absolutely, this is rolling out. This is becoming the new standard. It is about having that redundancy built into it all. And that's what they're looking for. Guys, this is what you got to remember is what the fire life safety is. It's all about that power that was always run over the POTS line that had its own electricity basically plant to it. That's what we've got to counter and make up for that's out there. Some of it's being handled other ways with, certain products, but when it comes to the gaps, where that pool line is, where that elevator line is, for certain alarm systems that aren't going to have the stuff necessarily built in, and they don't, they're not looking to upgrade the whole alarm system. These are perfect fits for that.
Perfect. That's great news. I mean, that has been something that's been a stall up till this point, and it's good that we're finally getting those organizations behind this type of a product. So that can add to a lot of new business coming on board.
Well, it also saves from the headaches, because unfortunately a lot of people over the years have tried to go out there and install products that the fire marshal was not happy with, and then when they get to the point where they go and get the inspection done, they don't pass inspection. And then you got to figure out how we're going to fix this, scenario.
Right.
So that's what stops that up front.
I have to get going.
All right. So here we are. We're 25 minutes into this. We've heard about all the great things that can be done. Any other thoughts on POTS, where it's going, and how we get there?
David, I can say something, or if you want to go first, go ahead.
Yeah, I think you actually gain a lot of things by moving off of POTS. So you have diversity. You've got much more redundancy, very similar to, if you guys are familiar with SD-WAN boxes, you've got redundancy out there. So when you put in a replacement box, a POTS replacement product that BullsEye represents, you've got added, LTE, you've got some wireless redundancy, you've got some cases coax or fiber redundancy, and that's a good thing to have that increased flexibility. You've got, a battery backup on the functionality of it. You've got a warranty around it. You've got just a variety of things that, frankly, you're going to improve probably your network by moving over, and you're probably end up saving some money as well. So, especially with the rates that are going up. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, what I was going to say is to reach out to one of our SPMs, our channel managers, and kind of, just basically line up and let us take a look at it. I mean, look at the lines. Let us help you do a review of what we can do pricing-wise, because that's where it's going to start. let's see if we can line up pricing wise, and we'll come and show you how we can take these POTS lines, hopefully maybe save them a couple bucks right up front, clean it up, and then show a migrating path, in that technology. And since basically everybody, as it sounds on the call, is also, make sure everybody gets paid for all this technology we're all selling. We don't want to forget about that part because that's part of it too.
No, that's a great point, and you made me think of something too, James. I think one of the services that BullsEye provides, and sometimes people don't recognize, is we'll do a free audit of the invoices, and especially, obviously all the POTS, but we'll take a look at all the invoices out there and see if we can save them some money. So give us a call and give our channel managers a call. You can find out all of our channel managers by going to bullseyetelecom.com. Again, that's BullsEye Telecom, one word, bullseyetelecom.com. And we got a list of all of our channel managers there, how to reach them with their email address, their phone numbers. Let me give you one more, 800 number you can also reach out to and get any one of us. I'll even give you my personal cell phone number. I want to earn your business, and I know BullsEye can do a very, very good job for all of you guys on the phone today. But our 800 number is 877-438. 877-438-2855.
No, I don't. I wish I did.
I think we got a little audio
Crosstalk from one of the users out there.
If everybody could mute their phones, that would be awesome.
I think we're good now, Dave.
All right,
David, why don't you just give that number one more time, because there was a lot of background noise.
Yeah, sure. So our 800 number was 877-438-2855.
All right, thank you. So, David, Jim, thank you for your time. Audience, you'll have receive a recording of this call shortly. We appreciate your time and hope you found this BullsEye Happy Half Hour very informative. And for information, I'll give these out one more time again. Our website is bullseyetelecom.com or 877-438-2855. There are also a couple questions that came up. Those will be answered back to you after the call is over. But thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you on the next Happy Half Hour. Thank you all for joining.
Perfect.
Thanks
Mark.
everybody.